That's a wrap on this half hour.
City News at 6 with Gordon Ann begins right now.
Out of the newsroom, on the street, City News everywhere. The following City TV program is available in high definition.
My fear is this will continue until he kills somebody.
Attacked by a complete stranger.
She asked me if she was going to die. She was bleeding a lot.
Oh, a good Samaritan stepped in after a vicious stabbing to save a life.
I go through about $70 a day.
70?
Yes.
Gas prices ground Toronto.
Makes me just want to stay home.
Well, we have work to do. There's no question about it.
As tourism takes a big hit, the idea that could give us a holiday from taxes.
I think this is going to help all families in Ontario.
Well, I knew something was wrong. My vision was not right.
Risking your sight to save money.
Your eyes are priceless, and you should only get the best.
What you need to know about laser eye surgery and the mistake that could put your vision in jeopardy.
Cloudy and cool tomorrow morning, but warm air is on the doorstep. When it will get here, how warm it's going to get, and if it's going to last.
Good evening. 3 random attacks, including a vicious stabbing.
An emotionally disturbed man with a history of violence is charged with knifing a woman at a bus stop. That's our...
I heard this woman screaming, help me, help me. I've been stabbed, someone help me. And she was like panicking.
26-year-old Nicole McDonald was just standing waiting for the streetcar when out of the blue, a man armed with a knife walked up to her and stabbed her 3 times in the stomach.
She suffered very serious life-threatening injuries, and if possibly not for the assistance she received from citizens right there on the street, this could have been a homicide, absolutely.
If that's what I did, then I'm glad I was there.
Margot Hines was the urban angel who came to Nicole's aid after this urban nightmare, putting pressure on her gushing wounds. Nicole's now in stable condition at St. Mike's. Margot went to see her this morning.
She was bandaged up and she was heavily sedated, but she was smiling and she was glad to see me, and I was even more glad to see her.
Witnesses helped police catch the suspect. 47-year-old Samad Dabari faces attempted murder, assault, and weapons charges. He was found guilty of a similar attack in 2003, but was deemed not criminally responsible because of mental deficiency.
Again in 2003 for an eerily similar incident where an elderly man was stabbed completely unprovoked.
Samad Dabiri makes his next appearance here at College Park Courts on May 23rd. Dwight Drummond, City News.
And 2 other random attacks underground. Farah Nasser's live with how a man came close to death at a downtown subway station. Farah?
And there's a very good reason people are told to stand well back of the yellow line at all subway stations, including this one at Yonge and College. This morning, a man was pushed onto the subway tracks.
I don't exactly know, the people that you're riding with and what they could do, and it does scare me sometimes.
It happened at 6 o'clock this morning. A man was standing here on the northbound platform at College Station waiting for his subway train when he was pushed onto the tracks. Luckily, there wasn't a train coming, but it was close.
He came inches away from the 3rd rail. As a result, he managed to safely climb back onto the platform. The suspect fled the scene.
Maybe they should take some kind of preventative measures, so it doesn't happen again.
What?
Well, it's very easy. Even if someone doesn't do it purposely, it's very easy for someone to get pushed.
Do you think there was maybe some mental health issues here?
One thing I could say is the police are definitely investigating it. It's undetermined.
A woman pushed on the tracks 10 years ago wasn't as lucky. Charlene Minkowski, a law clerk, was killed by a man who spent a quarter of an hour on a subway platform before randomly pushing her. How much of a concern is this to the public? How often does this happen?
It's very, very rare.
Police have seen surveillance video that has the suspect. He's described as male white, between 30 and 40, about 5'9", 170 pounds with brown hair. He was wearing gray polyester pants and white running shoes and was holding a black garbage bag. Police say the victim is fine, but he's still quite shaken up.
Stand near the wall for a reason in case there's something, right? But
standing there, they put that yellow marker for a reason. So I think people should use better judgment. Everybody's in a rush either to get home or to get to work, but you got to use some kind of judgment to keep yourself distant, right?
To find out what to do if you ever fall or are pushed onto the subway tracks, go to our website at citynews.ca and click on Web Watch. Live outside College subway station, I'm Farah Nasser. Now back to the newsroom.
All right, Farah, thank you. And a third random attack happened around 7:45 this morning at the St. Andrews subway station. A 45-year-old woman was sexually assaulted, and her cries for help made it possible for police to chase down a suspect. A 50-year-old drifter is charged tonight.
Toronto police have a $50,000 reward for the person who can help them with a conviction in Toronto's 57th murder of last year. 16-year-old Dinesh Kumar Murajia was stabbed in the heart last September near Kennedy and Lawrence. He was attacked in a laneway leading from Winston Churchill Collegiate to a popular snack bar. Crime Stoppers has given homicide detective lots of information, but not the evidence they need for a conviction.
This is different from Crime Stoppers. This is something that will require a witness to come forward, or a person who knows something to come forward, and very probably give evidence in court down the road. I'd like to speak to the people responsible for this. We do have a lot of evidence. We have a very good idea who is responsible.
Police are asking the killer to consider getting a lawyer and surrendering to police. He says it's only a matter of time before an arrest is made. Detective Sergeant Grinton is also asking accomplices who were not directly involved in the stabbing to consider coming forward to help the victim's family achieve some closure.
We have breaking news from Northeast Scarborough. A serious stabbing near Kennedy and Shepherd. A man was rushed to hospital from a high-rise on Reedmount Avenue, apparently with multiple stab wounds to the chest.
Another chilly one out there, but better weather is just hours away, apparently 24 to 48 hours, Michael?
Yeah, it's so cold it's actually has us tongue-tied, Anne. Me and you both. It is chilly out here today. It's been spitting all day long, especially over the last hour or so, and that's going to continue through the evening period. So expect a damp evening, a chilly evening, a breezy evening as we look at the radar. And there are some dropouts in the radar imagery, but it's just coming back, and you can see those bands from Barrie down through the GTA. Not heavy rain, but steady, very light rain, and it's going to hang on at least for the next couple of hours before we get a bit of a break from the showers. But we're still going to have the cloud cover overnight and through tomorrow morning. Only 9 degrees currently in Toronto, pretty close to where we topped out. 8 degrees in Barrie, 7 in North Bay with 6 in Sudbury. Here's what we're looking at over the next 12 hours, expecting 8 degrees, continued showers to 9 p.m. Cloud cover tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., 6 degrees. That cloud cover hangs on through the morning hours, but it should break later in the day as this system finally pulls away. And we are going to get that warm-up that Ann referred to. I'll let you know exactly when it's going to get here, how warm it's going to be, and how long it will last coming up. Back to the newsroom.
All right, Michael, thank you. So temperature is expected to rise, but not as quickly as the price of gas. Let's go live to Pam Seidel now, and the price keeps going skyward, Pam.
It never seems to end, does it, Gord? A 2-penny jump last night, another increase expected tonight. And with the price of oil hitting a new high in world trading, you can be sure there's more pain to come.
I think it's ridiculous. Makes me just want to stay home.
Do you find yourself not filling up when it's really high?
20 bucks. 20 bucks almost every day I put in my car.
Gas prices hit $1.26 for a liter of regular today. Never before have prices been so high for such a prolonged period of time.
I go through about $70 a day.
70?
Yes.
That's having a big impact on your business, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Like, you know, I have to pass it on to my customers.
Thanks to falling inventories, the price of crude jumped to a record high as well, closing at $133.72 US a barrel, with no end in sight. The impact of high gas prices is far-reaching. The tourism industry, for one, is feeling the effects, and some operators down here at Harbourfront are worried about the summer to come. Hi there. Hi. Can we come up? Are you a bit worried about the summer?
Absolutely. I guess you always have to be worried working in the tourism industry.
Gas prices are only one factor. The strong dollar is another key reason why visits to Canada are at an all-time low, down 12% from last year. In particular, trips from U.S. visitors have dropped dramatically.
I'd say maybe 80% of our regular sales are from the United States. So we're definitely seeing a decrease in numbers this year from the United States.
Like, would you guys make the trek by car from New Jersey with the prices the way they are?
No. It's easier to stay locally. Yes. Well, not locally, but in our own state.
Local Torontonians, on the other hand, are very concerned about their costs and are looking towards alternatives to the car to save money.
I'd rather take the transit because it's cheaper rather than driving downtown. Yeah. So TTC is a lot more cost effective.
Even with prices as they are, there's still an incentive to fill up before midnight tonight. That's when the Liberal watchdog MP Dan McTeague is predicting another jump of more than 1.5 cents to $1.27.6 a litre. Live on Spadina, I'm Pam Seidel. Now back to the newsroom.
All right, Pam, thank you. We're live now to our political specialist, Richard Madden. He's here to tell us why we shouldn't expect any gas price help from Ottawa. Richard.
Well, that's right, and no question that pump rage could spill over into the voting booth. So today, one Conservative party is trying to tap into that anger, while another one appears to be brushing it off. Those rising gas prices fueling driver angst, and it may become a key issue in the expected fall federal election.
The choices I'm going to make is I'm going to vote for someone that's going to bring gas prices down.
High gas prices blamed for low tourism and low consumer spending. So Ontario's opposition leader demanding all retail taxes be eliminated off hotels and attractions all summer long.
I think it'll benefit more so a lot of people who might decide that the difference between taking a holiday in Ontario and not rests in the savings of, say, $100.
Well, we all know gas prices go up when world oil prices go up, but there's one constant fee you're always going to pay despite these fluctuations, and that's the amount of tax you pay, a little over 32%. That includes both provincial and federal taxes. But with growing pressure by some sectors to have government intervene and lower gas prices in Canada, the question is, will governments reduce their share of gasoline taxes? That's a question I put to Prime Minister Stephen Harper earlier today. Here's what he had to say.
The ability of governments to affect the price of gasoline per se is so small that it's not worth doing. That what you've really got to do is lower costs for consumers generally.
Gas prices were a key issue in the American primaries. Here at home, some predict a throwback.
We're just going to have to pay until we can't pay anymore.
And then what?
Maybe we're going to have to go back to, I don't know, riding horses.
Now, keep in mind, gas prices in Canada are comparatively lower than the United States or the United Kingdom, particularly Germany. We've got a great comparison chart on our website that compares gas prices in cities around the world. Just head to citynews.ca and click on Web Watch. Gord?
Okay, Richard. In an Etobicoke courtroom today, the Crown withdrew domestic assault charges against City Councillor Rob Ford. Ford walked out of a court after the Crown attorney said there was, quote, no reasonable prospect of conviction because of inconsistencies in the story told by Ford's wife. The councillor says he's glad to be back with his family.
Everything's going great, and you know, we all have problems behind closed doors, but mine are a little bit more exposed than everyone else's. But I'm just happy to be home, my family together, and let's move forward.
So you're living back in your marital home?
Well, as of tonight, I am, yes.
Ford says his wife would have joined him today, but she's homesick with the flu.
For the second time in just 5 months, a major fire has struck downtown Barrie, causing widespread damage. This is all that's left after fire apparently broke out on the ground floor of an apartment around 11 o'clock last night and quickly spread. Dozens of people living above stores ran to safety. Close to 100 people and staff of the historic Queen's Hotel were forced out as dense smoke spread through the building.
When I was back there, a guy come running out of this middle apartment carrying 2 cats with nothing on but a pair of boxers, and I was like, wow.
One firefighter was taken to hospital with smoke inhalation. Last December, a major fire gutted a number of buildings in the 5 Points area of downtown Barrie, less than half a kilometer from this latest blaze. Arson charges were laid in the December fire. The cause of this latest one remains under investigation.
World news next. And U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy returned home today, one day after being diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor. A wave and a smile for a crowd of well-wishers as Kennedy walked out of a Massachusetts hospital. The 76-year-old was admitted to hospital Saturday after suffering a seizure.
Senator, you get my mother's
Kennedy also greeted people who lined the streets to his Cape Cod home. Doctors say he has recovered remarkably quickly from a brain biopsy performed yesterday, waiting for more test results before making a decision on his treatment plan. Convoys and police armed with rifles patrolled the streets of South Africa as violence against immigrants spread to the Zulu heartland. The president has approved the deployment of troops to try and quell the violence. Paramedics are finding bloodied immigrants in shanty towns. At least 42 have been killed in the attacks. The campaign continues, but there's victory in sight for Senator Barack Obama. The Democratic presidential hopefuls in Florida a day after taking the Oregon primary. Hillary Clinton captured Kentucky, but Obama is close to locking up the nomination. He holds a total of 1,949 delegates. Clinton is not conceding yet, despite being 180 delegates behind. Dozens of helicopters rescued more than 600 people from remote mountains in southwest China. The area has been cut off since the earthquake struck 9 days ago. China's death toll stands at 41,000, with another 30,000 still missing. For a full wrap of the world's news, join us for City News International, 11:35 tonight on City TV.
Coming up on City News.
The bargain operation that could ruin your sight.
My vision was not right.
The dangers of laser eye surgery. The questions you need answered before risking your vision.
It's great. It's a really great resource. It really gets the kids excited.
Using math to hit a home run.
When we're older, if we do all of that, then we could be a baseball player too.
Our unique program by the Toronto Blue Jays is helping students crunch numbers in a whole new way.
Interlace your fingers and as fast and as hard as you can.
It looks like we've got a pulse.
City News is now a lifesaver. We stepped into the shoes of our city's paramedics and discovered just what it takes to be a hero.
After a tremendous April, May has been significantly cooler than normal, but we're about to turn the corner. How sharp that curve is going to be and when to brace for it.
Super 7 presents Because You Can, starring Jesse Streets.
Because you can!
With this Friday's colossal $27 million jackpot. Because You Can, starring Cosmetica.
Because you can.
With this Friday's gigantic $27 million jackpot.
With regular furnaces, the forecast often calls for blankets and flannel. But with York's Affinity Modulating Furnace, you'll be singing a little different tune. It adjusts itself in 1% increments, so the temperature you set on your thermostat is the temperature you get. Introducing York's Affinity Modulating Furnace. Comfort, precisely.
For all your heating and cooling needs, call Air One at 310 Heat.
Drive the fuel-efficient Jeep Patriot with standard electronic stability program. or the equally fuel-efficient Jeep Compass with all-speed traction control. And wherever you go, your world's a playground.
You remind me who I am.
Great meals can start from the microwave. Uncle Ben's Bistro Express, now available in whole grain. Rice it up.
What does 100 days of grace mean?
Well, right now, when you buy a Nissan, you don't need to make a payment for 100 days.
That's glorious.
During Nissan's 100 Days of Grace, get 0.9% financing for up to 60 months. See your Nissan retailer today.
New My Silhouette from Nivea. The unique BioSlim complex improves the tone of your skin and makes it look firmer. Discover why 80% of women are already convinced. Nivea My Silhouette. Because beauty is a good feeling.
Last year, children from around the world got the life-saving surgery they needed because of you. Show me the money. Show me the money. Join us live for City TV Herbie Day, Friday, June 6th, here at the Hospital for Sick Children. Catch full-day coverage starting on BT and throughout the day on City TV, and we'll have the final figure for you on City News at 6. Watch how a little pocket change can change the life of a child forever.
Brain tumors such as the one Senator Edward Kennedy is battling are not common, but they are usually fatal. Here's our medical specialist, Dr. Carl Cabasel, with an overview of the deadly gliomas.
U.S. Senator Edward Kennedy's recent diagnosis with a glioma, or primary brain tumor, has brought to light a rare illness.
Gliomas are relatively uncommon cancers, probably account for about 2% of all cancers. Despite their being uncommon, they're very serious diagnoses.
Dr. Warren Mason is a neuro-oncologist who treats brain tumors.
They cause a great deal of illness and suffering, and they are, for the most part, terminal illnesses. As with most cancers, we don't really know the cause of the disease.
A brain tumor is sometimes referred to as a space-occupying lesion, and here's why. The brain, represented by the orange balloon, fills most of the volume of the skull. When someone develops a brain tumor, represented by this red balloon, it pushes against the brain, and that's what causes the symptoms of a brain tumor.
Common symptoms include headaches, language disturbance, weakness, visual disturbance, seizures.
The chances of survival are not good.
Still in the range of 12 to 18 months for the average patient.
But a new medical breakthrough is giving hope to these patients.
It was shown that the addition of temozolomide, which is a relatively new chemotherapy, can extend life when it's added to radiation. This was the first advance in the management of malignant gliomas in 30 years.
To find out where brain tumor patients can get support services, go to our website, citynews.ca, and click on Web Watch. From College and Spadina, Dr. Carl Cabasel, City News.
And still with health issues, more than 100,000 Canadians underwent laser eye surgery last year. If you're thinking about going that route, health specialist Lordy Batista has 4 questions you need to ask before undergoing this procedure.
I knew something was wrong after the surgery, but I didn't know what. I just knew my vision wasn't correct.
Joyce Fruitman suffered serious complications after the laser eye surgery that was supposed to make her eyesight better, not worse.
I had something called ghosting, where I would read letters and I would see a shadow of each letter.
Unfortunately, Joyce didn't do her homework. She chose her eye surgeon based on his convenient location back in her hometown. And he didn't use state-of-the-art lasers like this, but instead an old-style inferior laser.
There are discount laser centers that offer people technology that isn't up to date. 10 seconds, hold still.
The Food and Drug Administration in the U.S. has been holding hearings looking at the problems with laser eye surgery. But Dr. Sheldon Herzig says complications happen when patients don't do their homework before going under the knife. This wouldn't be a time to be bargain hunting.
No, you shouldn't discount your eyes, discount your vision. Your eyes are priceless, and you should only get the best.
Questions to ask include, how many procedures has the doctor performed? What is the surgeon's rate of retreatment? What kind of laser is used? Visex and Intralase are the newest. And finally, is the price too good to be true?
The laser was off-center.
Joyce was lucky. Dr. Herzig was able to repair her eyes with another operation. All totaled, her surgeries were over $10,000.
I'm so thankful I have good vision now, because if I had gone back to my first surgeon, I don't know what my eyes would be like right now.
It's estimated that 4 to 5% of laser eye surgery patients experience complications. For a list of the top 6, just go to our website, citynews.ca. From the Herzig Eye Institute, I'm Larry Batista for City News.
Saving lives on our roads was front and center at the Rogers Centre today as Ontario's police leaders launched the 2008 Ride Drive Safe campaign.
I need 3 bags of cookies, chocolate chip.
A simulator showed the distractions of driving while doing things like making a list and talking to a passenger. Police Chief Bill Blair was joined by President and CEO of the Blue Jays, Paul Godfrey, along with police officers and community sponsors.
We've seen more than ample evidence that inappropriate driving, aggressive driving, high speeds, impaired driving can cause tremendous carnage on all of our highways. We've seen evidence of that just in this past holiday weekend, with 6 people lost their lives on our roadways. We're very concerned, and we want to make sure the public understands their responsibility to make the right decisions regarding driving.
Police across the province will be handing out Drive Safe information booklets at land and marine ride stops. Drive Safe posters will also be on display at 600 LCBO outlets.
If you've ever thought about becoming a paramedic, you can find out just how tough the job is during EMS Week. Marianne Devane got a taste of what it takes to save lives.
It's a day in the life of a paramedic. I drove along this practice course as part of EMS Week. But if you think this is challenging, driving to an actual emergency is even tougher.
It's frustrating when they don't get out of the way because it's always an emergency call.
Interlace your fingers and as fast and as hard as you can.
Then there's treating the patients. I worked with the team.
This is a cardiac monitor.
And saw the tools. And it's a race against the clock when you're trying to save lives.
We have an 8-minute response time we try to shoot for, of course. Once we arrive, that's where the real time counts.
This is the Toronto Ambulance Dispatch Center. Hundreds of calls come through here every day. And when this light turns red, it means they're on an emergency call.
We can offer help, instructions for help while the paramedics are on the way, so that help doesn't have to wait until the paramedics get there.
Any isolation precautions for the patient?
But until they arrive, EMS says things like public defibrillators can help save lives.
Stay clear of the patient. Everyone standing clear.
It's a lot to take in, but in the end, you may just become a junior paramedic.
We're very thankful for everybody's contributions to saving lives. It really makes our job that much easier.
If you want to take a look at what the paramedics do day to day yourself, you can come here to the Dufferin headquarters. EMS Week lasts until Friday. I'm Marianne Devane for City News.
We've got another so-so kind of day in store for tomorrow, but there is barbecuing weather on the way. We'll tell you when. Coming right up.
Hot on sell, hot on can. If you've got great pics that make for breaking news, get them to City News. Just send your pictures or video to citynews.ca and click It's Your Story. You can be the next newsbreaker for City News. Closed captioning of the City TV program is brought to you in part by Chatelaine. From meals and minutes to your health and money, take another look at Chatelaine. On sale now.
For over 32 years, OLG has been creating excitement. And not just for the people who play. Last Last year alone, OLG generated over $2 billion towards health, learning, and communities across Ontario.
Well, I did walk the dog this morning. Make that ran the dog. I missed my workout, but I did take the stairs at work twice. I will have a snack.
When it comes to rewarding your balanced lifestyle, Crispy Minis rice chips add up to a great choice. 1.5 grams of fat and 60 calories per 14-gram serving, plus a great taste and crunch. Crispy Minis, a snack in the right direction.
Watch out! Watch out! Look at you! You pathetic! You gotta eat something. Here, let Mama feed you.
Hey, Micalinas!
Great meals can start from the microwave. Uncle Ben's Bistro Express, now available in whole grain. Rice it up.
Next on Friends, the one with the blackout.
Sports next with Catherine Humphreys. And Catherine, the Blue Jays hope they can find their bats tonight.
Yeah, and Jays needed CAA with the number of runners they stranded last night. They'll try again tonight against the Angels with Sean Markham on the hill. Here's Hugh with the pregame.
Bases loaded, one out. To second, Rodriguez. To his Torres and a double play. They had the bases loaded with nobody out.
If this year's trend continues, there'll be 1,000 home runs less than just 2 years ago. But the Jays aren't worried about home runs right now. They're just worried about getting some hits with runners in scoring position.
That's one game, you know. I'm not going to sit here and look back and, you know, I mean, we've been playing too good a baseball to dwell on one night.
A tough night at the dish for the Blue Jays. 3 times they had the bases loaded and 3 times they came up empty. Toronto stranded 11 and was just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Ugly numbers, but the manager prefers to accentuate the positive.
And the guys have been playing good baseball, and what people have to keep in mind, you know, fans are frustrated, we're all frustrated. Nobody's more frustrated than the guys out on the field. That's, you know, you can't lose sight of that.
I think sometimes guys try to shoulder the load themselves rather than wait for a pitch that they can hit hard in the middle of the field. You know, sometimes they tend to expand the zone a little bit and try to do it themselves rather than let the next guy go and drive that run in.
If the Jays are to get the bats going tonight, they're going to have to do it against John Garland, and all he is a perfect 5-0 pitching in this city. The Jays will counter with Sean Markham. From the Rogers Center, I'm Hugh Burrell, City News.
Well, Venus Williams says she'll be at this year's Rogers Cup tennis tourney in Montreal this summer. It will be her first ever appearance at the event. The 27-year-old is ranked 8th in the world. Meanwhile, last night's T-Ball Tuesday, it's the Jays versus the Giants. The kids really get into this stuff. Emma for the Giants with the pink helmet.
Nice color.
And the beautiful braids. She pulls off a leadoff single. Up next, Alex with a long ball to the fence. It's a triple. Good enough to score Emma. There's not enough pink helmets in the majors. Not enough braids either. Then it's Connor with the double for the Jays. And check out the form with which Lucas throws this baseball. Leg up. He's a natural. Should be pitching, really. He probably will be. Then with Daniel at the plate, he pops one up. Now the throw is going home. Kieran is going for it, and they called him safe, although I think you can see here, Emma.
Oh, he's out.
She had him.
Yeah.
But no worries, Emma. Everybody wins. 25-all
right.
was the final.
So a saw-off. Hey, what's going on with the Blue Jay bats? Yikes.
I don't know.
3 times bases loaded, couldn't bring anybody home.
J.P. Ricciardi pointed out, though, that every American League team is struggling with the hitting right now. So it's not only the Jays.
Well,
it's
time for us
everybody.
to break out and take advantage of the slump.
Yeah, tonight.
All right. And?
Yeah, but you know, when it comes to educating kids, the Blue Jays always hit home runs. Our videographer Audra Brown with why Vernon Wells made a surprise visit to a local school.
What we're going to do
felt sort of weird because you don't really
see a baseball player that often in school, so it's a bit, sometimes your tummy is shaking when you get it, so.
Are you pretty excited?
Yeah.
What is your favorite subject? For Dylan, having Vernon Wells visit his school is a thrill of a lifetime. And as you can hear, the rest of the kids at Williams Public School got a big thrill today, too.
Have fun while you're here. Enjoy your teachers.
When Vernon Wells stopped by to talk baseball and math.
Whatever way we can find new and inventive ways of teaching kids to learn anything new, it's great.
It's all about a new online program developed for the Jays, and it allows teachers and students to go online and find out fun baseball-related ways to learn.
To do different types of things for literacy and math that are at the kids' age level and something that they're excited about.
And every teacher who joins is eligible for the chance to have the Jays visit the kids at their school.
I think it's really cool that they came here. He said, like, really good lessons to always be good in school.
To find out how to get your school involved in this program, go to our website, citynews.ca. At Williamson Public School, Audra Brown, City News.
And coming up, why jazz legend Oscar Peterson's shoes were in the limelight today.
Tomorrow on City News at 6.
The people food that could kill your pet.
Dogs aren't discriminatory, so they'll eat virtually anything.
The table scraps you never feed to Fido, no matter how much he begs.
Out of the newsroom, on the street, City News everywhere.
What does 100 Days of Grace mean?
Well, right now, when you buy a Nissan, you don't need to make a payment for 100 days.
That's glorious.
During Nissan's 100 Days of Grace, get 0.9% financing for up to 60 months. See your Nissan retailer today.
Updating our breaking news from the top of the newscast, the emergency task force has arrested a suspect at the scene of a serious stabbing near a Kennedy and Shepherd area high-rise. A man was rushed to hospital from Reedmount Avenue with stab wounds to the chest. Happened around 5 o'clock. No word yet on the victim's condition. We'll have the latest on this developing story on City News tonight at 11.
Entertainment's next with Larissa Harrapin. And 19 years after he last cracked the whip, Indiana Jones is back on the big screen. Larissa?
He surely is, and Harrison Ford reprises his role as the adventurous archaeologist Indy. And this time, well, he's joined by Cate Blanchett and Shia LaBeouf. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is the 4th installment in the series.
We've seen a lot of the older stars going back to the franchises that made them famous, like Rocky and Die Hard, and if they can do it, I don't see why Harrison Ford can't do it.
It's been said that Indiana Jones is one of the few characters that you can recognize just by a silhouette because of the fedora, and that was part of the genius of creating the character. The dream team of Harrison Ford director Steven Spielberg and producer George Lucas have turned the Indiana Jones franchise into a lucrative one. But with a budget on this one exceeding $180 million, can the pent-up demand for Indy meet expectations?
There's a lot of hype. I think a lot of people are talking about it, so yeah. I mean, I know myself and others who haven't grown up with it are talking about it, so we'll see if it's a quality movie or not.
He seems kind of old.
Hey!
but I mean, to be in a movie like this, I think he's done for it, no? I mean, there's other roles he can do, but I don't know if this is... I'm sure he'll prove me wrong, though.
Come on, genius. You can put together some of the best talents ever, and if the script isn't right, or if the project isn't right, it still won't make a good movie. And this might be a good movie. I hope it's good.
Indiana Jones opens in theaters tomorrow, and so far the critics in Cannes, where the movie world premiered, have given it lukewarm reviews. Crowds gave Madonna a very warm reception at Cannes, although she came out to the screening of Che. Tonight, the Material Girl premiered her documentary about the devastating effects of AIDS in Malawi, I Am Because We Are.
Sorry, guys, Jessica Alba's officially off the market. The mom-to-be married Cash Warren in a quiet ceremony yesterday. Friends close to newlyweds say they're surprised the couple got hitched so quickly. They married in a City Hall ceremony yesterday and are expecting a daughter this summer.
Her silhouette has changed somewhat since we saw that video.
And speaking of silhouettes, I mean, they're saying the most recognizable silhouette of all time has to be the Indiana Jones one, of course, because of the fedora. And basically, critics are saying, you know, could he do it? Can he do it? I mean, he's 65 years old. You know, it's this class reunion of Ford and Lucas, and Spielberg. I don't know. We'll see.
I bet he pulls it off. I mean, you know, critics can say one thing, but the public, they're the ultimate critic.
We'll see.
All right, Larissa, thanks. Gord, back to you.
He was one of the fathers of jazz soul, and now the soles of his shoes are living on. Oscar Peterson's widow, Kelly, donated a pair to the Bata Shoe Museum today. The music legend was wearing the same kind of suede shoes the day the couple met. Peterson used to travel to a store in London, England every year to buy the fancy footwear. And speaking of jazz, an offbeat workshop here in Toronto is combining jazz with graffiti art. Jojo Chinto now with how the two make a good fit.
It is called Groove and Graffiti. This is a workshop conducted by the Toronto Downtown Jazz Festival here at the Danforth Technical and Collegiate Institute. Now, there are 20 art students from all over the city participating in this workshop. Now, what they're doing is painting graffiti to jazz music.
Music's always good when you're doing art.
Does it inspire you?
Yeah, I'd say so. This is my first time.
How does it feel?
Awesome.
I just do it because I think it looks good.
It looks good. Well, that's jazz music. You just play it because it sounds good.
Yeah. So it's like the same thing.
It shows them that that aerosol art is not just graffiti. It's not just vandalism. It's a fine art.
Try to keep all the lines the same distance, the same thickness, so it all sort of like has a...
The young artists are also getting some tips from two professionals now making a good living painting graffiti murals. How's he doing?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Jazz and graffiti sounds like a perfect match.
Yeah, they both have a different, you know, a similar sort of tempo.
It's all free form. It's what you feel. It's what you hear, what you see. These are our future audience.
On June 29th, the last day of the Jazz Festival, there will be an open canvas at Nathan Phillips Square where some of the young people who are here today will be painting to music. I'm Jojo Chinto for City News.
How interesting is that? Well, we have a kind of groovy forecast for you. Here's Michael Coos with a final check of your 7-day. Michael?
Yeah, it's still a little damp and drizzly out there tonight, but that's perfect jazz weather. That's going to continue for the next couple of hours, and you can see, there it is, that blanket of light rain moving from Toronto, stretching up to about Tottenham, working up to Dufferin County, and then back toward Barrie and through Goderich. That wave is going to swing through the area. It's along a trough line tied in with this stubborn low-pressure system that's over eastern central parts of Ontario. That's going to move through, slide off to the east. Second little trough line pushes through early in the day on Friday, but we're going to get plenty of sunshine Friday as a ridge of high pressure moves in from the west. This is just some afternoon cloud developing due to daytime heating. I'm not expecting anything in the way of a heavy blanket of cloud, just a few cloudy periods in the afternoon. On Friday, looks pretty solid. 8 degrees this evening, showers continuing past the 9 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. Still cloud cover 6 degrees, spitting a little bit through the morning hours once again, and that will carry us to at least noon. 9 degrees only at the noon hour, but warming up with a few sunny breaks by 4 p.m. I'm calling for a high of 15 degrees, but it is going to be breezy. That wind out of the north at about 30 kilometers per hour, north-northwest 30K, gusting to 40, 45. We will get that sunshine on Friday up near seasonal at 19 degrees. That's nice, eh? We are expecting to see Saturday and Sunday above seasonal. Beautiful weekend up ahead. High of 22 degrees Saturday, 25 on Sunday. And the warm air continues into next week, expecting by Monday to see a high of 24 degrees. But we will see some showers as the cold front moves through. But even in behind that cold frontal boundary, just temperatures dropping back to seasonal. 20 on Tuesday, 20 on Wednesday, and partly sunny. That's a final check on your forecast, Ann.
Thank you, Michael. For those of you who ever wanted to smash a pie in your boss's face, check this out. Workers at a Ford Lion grocery store in West Virginia got to do just that. Every employee was given a shot at the store's manager and assistant manager as a reward for winning a weekly contest that made the store #1 in the company. Morale booster? Well, you decide.
A lot of employees getting their yah-yahs out there. To take another look at any of our stories or to contact us anytime, log on to citynews.ca.
And Morella Fernandez will have your next edition of City News later tonight at 11.
This is City TV.